For my exceptional children observations this semester, I observed four regular classrooms, one resource room, one self-contained special education room, one inclusive site, and one gifted and talented class. My first observation was first grade. I observed Mrs. Moss at Merle Taylor Elementary in Jacksonville. This was my least favorite of all of my observations. It was, first off, they started off dancing, and that was nice because little children need a good break. They need a time to exercise and work out some energy before class. But while they were taking a test, she did not handle the hyperactive children very well. She yelled at them a lot and told small children that they were annoying her and that they were bothering her. And I don't think a teacher should talk to any student that way, much less a student so young who probably doesn't understand what she's saying, just how she's saying it. They're going to associate that with teachers equal bad for the rest of their educational career. My second observation was Miss Snyder's kindergarten class at Merle Taylor Elementary. This one was okay. When I walked in, they were reading a story about the sky, and once they were done, they walked outside. All of the children were very well behaved. They walked outside and just looked at the sky. Miss Snyder asked them to point out something they noticed about the sky, what they see, whether it was a bird or an airplane or a cloud. None of the students talked over each other. They didn't speak until they were called upon, which I really admire, especially for a kindergarten class. And once they got back inside, they sat down at their tables and drew a picture of their own sky with whatever they wanted in it, and they had to write a sentence based on what they drew. Like, I see an airplane, or the sky is blue, or the sky has a bird in it. The third class I observed was Miss Thomas's self-contained special education room. Honestly, I went into this room expecting a lot of hyperactivity, some disruptive students, not the orderly, quiet, focused room that I found. The students were very, very calmly just working on their own assignments. They were working, all seemed to be working on various math assignments, obviously according to their IEPs rather than on a set educational plan. I wasn't very impressed with Miss Thomas herself. She mostly just sat in the corner doing paperwork, and I understand that special education teachers have a lot of paperwork, but she only got up twice just to check in on one student. The entire hour I was there, she most of the time it was the paraprofessionals walking around the room helping the students, and I was very impressed with them. One of them, a girl in front of me, was having difficulty with her math assignment, and so she helped her with her math assignment. And when the girl, she said, "I'm so stupid," it broke my heart. But the paraprofessional handled it very well. She looked at the girl and said, "Do you remember when you didn't understand this concept? Do you remember when you didn't understand this one? And what did you do? You learned it. You will learn this. You are smart. You have come so far from the time you entered this classroom, and I am so proud of you." And I love the way she handled that, because the girl just lit up whenever the para said that she was proud. My My fourth observation was also at Merle Taylor. It was on a different day, though. I observed Mr. Roberts' GT class. In elementary school, for the younger grades, he goes into the classrooms, reads a story, and the children answer questions based on the story, and their answers are rated to determine how well they're understanding the story and how well they can express their views of the story. I really enjoyed how engaged he was with the students. He put himself on the same intellectual level as them. When they didn't understand something, he subtly asked questions implying that he didn't understand it either, and he helped them slowly get to their own conclusions rather than just giving them an answer. And I really liked that. As well as I don't know how hands-on you can be with a storybook, but he was pretty hands-on. He had them act like chimps. The book was about Jane Goodall. He had them act like chimpanzees. He had them demonstrate or answer questions on how they could save money. He related Jane Goodall saving money to go to Africa to them putting money in their piggy bank. He related the shy chimpanzees to shy puppies because the children probably hadn't been around chimpanzees enough to understand them. And it really put it on their level. At one point, one student fell asleep on the back row, and instead of just singling her out and calling her by name and telling her to wake up, he got down on the floor and army crawled over to the girl so that it wasn't just calling her, it wasn't calling her out, but it was entertaining the other students. And he tapped her on the shoulder, and when she woke up, he made a funny face, so she giggled. And then he asked everyone to stand up and move around a bit just so that they can wake back up. And I really liked that. I thought it was adorable. He was great with the students. Now, my fifth observation was at Jacksonville Middle School. It was Mr. Underwood's 7th grade English class. He is only in his 3rd year of teaching, and you could kind of tell he was very lenient with the students who were misbehaving, and I think he could have been stricter. There was a group of girls in front of me who were very disruptive and talking the entire class, and anytime he told them to stop talking, they were just like, well, we're doing our work, even though they weren't really doing their work. And he just let it slide and taking them at their word that they were doing their work. After a while, though, he did get a little fed up and sent one of the girls, the most disruptive one, to the principal's office. She went without hesitation. She didn't argue. You could tell it was kind of a habit at this point. And after she left, the girls were still a little bit disruptive, but they actually focused and buckled down and did their work. One of the girls who was being disruptive, once the main girl left, they opened a computer program called Kahoot, which is basically like an online pop quiz game, and she did really well at it. Unfortunately, when she didn't win, she still demanded a prize. I'm proud that Mr. Underwood held his ground on that. After I left Mr. Underwood's class, I went to Miss Lutz's 8th grade pre-AP English class. To get to this classroom, you had to walk through one classroom. I think this class was originally intended to be a lab extension, but the growing population demanded otherwise. Miss Lutz was really good. She was very strict with her students. She'd been teaching for 16 years, she informed me, so I could definitely tell a difference between the new teacher and the more experienced teacher. She kept her class very, very focused and on topic. The assignment for the day was for them to read an article about euthanasia and write an essay whether or not they believe it should be legal for humans. The students didn't seem very interested in it because they didn't think it applied to them. So she even told them that if she were dying of cancer that was not treatable, she would want to be able to kill herself legally. The students some of them were shocked at this, but it still didn't get the attention that they wanted, or that she wanted. But she informed me that the previous day's topic had been the legalization of marijuana, which had definitely gotten their attention for obvious reasons. I mean, teenagers. But she, at one point, one student was being so disruptive that she got in his face and made him look at her and said, "I am doing my best not to kick you out of this class. I want to keep you in here because I want you to learn, and you can't do that if you're not in this class. So please, I want to help you, but you have got to help me. Do you understand?" And he nodded. And from that point, he was not disruptive. He didn't say a word. He didn't move. He just worked on his work. I thought that was excellent. That was a wonderful way to manage that situation. I do believe that it has a lot to do with her experience as a teacher. Now, my next observation was Miss Wright's resource room. It was a 6th grade reading resource room. They had been taking a test over a guided reading. It was about a fudge recipe. So of course she had the recipe in there and had all of the ingredients, and they made the fudge for the class. It was adorable, and they all were very interested in the topic, and I'm sorry. They were very engaged in the activity. And my last observation was at Lone Oak Exceptional School in Cabot. I observed their adult facility because I am going into secondary education. This facility was, I believe they need more funding. They didn't have enough equipment for some of the lower functioning students. Now for the higher functioning students, they got to run a snack bar so that they could learn all aspects of business, stocking the snack bar, stocking vending machines, collecting money, counting the money, being responsible for going and buying things for the snack bar. And it just, they learn all of that, and personal hygiene, because these are the students that are going to go out into society and hold jobs and be functional members of society. So they're taught all of that in this. Their class is essentially just an extended transition service. But I was impressed with how much they taught them and what they focused on. And those are my observations for the semester. Thank you.